Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's vOLTHA TST meeting. Thanks for joining. As usual, the call is public and recorded. Will be shared live on YouTube, so please be mindful of the comments you make and the information you share with the team. First up, we have the Kafka to gRPC swap. Ken, do you want to start with an update on that?
Yeah, sure. I was away most of last week, so I let Matteo and Girish to chime in. The bottom line, there's more tests that are passing now. There has been changes that has been put in some minor change that are put in the vOLTHA adapter and the ONU adapter. There's also some changes that went into the core. One such change was to serialize the deletion of flows, especially the strict flow delete strict. And also there's a change that was put in the Helm charts to reduce to get to we have a backup timer that we use that was not configurable. Well, is configurable in the code, but it was not configurable from the Helm charts. So there has been changes that was put in to reduce that max interval of backup, and that has allowed more tests to pass. So there has been some changes all around, and also yes, they will make a change in the core. Well, no, in the ONU adapter actually, to let it start faster than what it was before. So there has been a lot of changes around, some minor code changes as well. So that has allowed a lot of tests to pass. But one thing that we are seeing more so is the changes that we are actually doing are changes that are affecting the timing, like when things are occurring in the system. Means obviously once we put the gRPC changes in place, the overall timing of the system has changed, and now some tests are failing, and there has been some change in the test itself that Matteo did, and some of those changes will be required, but also it means that we are uncovering some risk conditions that are in the existing code base. So those has to be fixed. So it's an ongoing work. We're making a lot of progress, a lot of good progress, but still there's some work remaining to be done. And to Matteo and Girish or David, if you want to chime in, please go ahead.
That was a good summary.
So on the last point, thanks for the summary, Ken. That was very good. On the last point, I would like to hear the opinion of everybody on merging the stuff with some known issues, because we're getting to a point where there's too much queued up behind this.
Mm-hmm.
So there are a couple of tests that fail, and we do know that. Main suite is mostly passing, at least the way I understand. The BBSIM based tests are passing. There's the reconciliation failure in the OpenONU Go tests. That is what we're currently investigating. But apart from that, we're seeing failures kind of everywhere. And my issue is that I can count at least 4 to 5 things that are queued up behind us and that are effectively impeding everybody progress on other things as well. So what do you guys think? Should we consider start merging the stuff so we can get other things merged as well? And in the meantime, given that we kind of know where the issue lies in the timings of things, as you pointed out, Ken, would it make sense to merge and then fix those?
From my perspective, before even we do any merge, we need to do a code review, because maybe there are some obvious issues that are in the code. So I think that at least there should be some code reviews being done. We can't just merge like that. And
Yeah.
and in terms of the issues that we are seeing, I think a lot of those issues exist in the current code base. We are at that point now. And like, I think once we do a code review and then at least most of the tests are passing, I think we could merge the code. Well, that's my opinion.
Okay.
Yeah,
we-
Just to be, go ahead.
I was saying I'd be fine to merge him, assuming that it's not like we merge these gRPC patches and immediately after we start merging other patches. Otherwise, we'll be chasing bugs in a moving target, and that's not a pleasant situation.
I would like to get things working before we merge, but I'm always the pedantic
Otherwise,
person around this.
Otherwise, the other option is that we merge the things that are queued up, PM tests, the logging patches for the opener when you go, the serialization of the flows that Girish has. We merge those, but it will entail a big effort of rebasing. That's the other option, and that would be more work for effectively Ken and David. You guys.
I do not think merging anything that's going to cause a rebase is the right move right now. Again,
David,
I'm sorry to be.
David, we're stuck. It's 3 weeks. We don't merge anything. So we are effectively in code freeze. I don't like this. Sorry, I'm strong on this one, but this is not something that I'm okay with.
I don't like it
3 weeks.
either. I don't like it either. But the more you merge into this, the harder it's going to be to find the issues that we're chasing, I suspect.
We cannot stay 5 weeks, 6 weeks. We don't have a date. We cannot stay without merging anything for weeks on end. People are stuck because some of their patches are not being merged. And also the moving target is, to me, a situation we're already hitting in our tests. As we have seen, there's always the question, are we using the right images? And that's not good.
I agree. I agree with everything you said. However, my opinion would be that people should not be working on those other features right now, particularly if there are known bugs in the test. People should be focusing on getting those tests working, which means more than just, I know there's probably 5, 6 people that are fully concentrated on it, but I would rather have, we know there's issues in multiple bits of code right now that are being exposed via these tests. I don't want to see new features implemented. I want to see those. I would prefer those people start debugging into these areas and getting their tests passed. Right? So I'm not suggesting, people, I guess what I am suggesting is, rather than keep putting up new features that we just keep queuing up, people focus on getting the tests working.
Yeah, I would sort of agree with that. At a certain point in the technical deck, it's unable to be managed with a small development team. So getting those bugs taken care of can have a beneficial effect over features.
Other thoughts?
One thing I have to add to this, it's even if we're merging some code in the master that looks as if it's minor, doesn't do much. For instance, if you, maybe a week ago, I rebase, I don't know if it was, I think it was the vOLTHA code that I rebased, and it rebased without any conflict. Everything was good. When I run the test, the gRPC test, and then things were failing, and then I realized there was somehow that change, even if it was a minor change, change the order of operation somehow, where a device update, the state update, instead of the API of the state change being called, it was part of the device update itself. So it was something very, very minor, but that has an impact on the test results. So it's like merging, even if it's something that looks like, like will not cause any problem, it does cause a problem. So it's if we can put most effort to get those tests passed, but my only concern is we, for sure, if we run the same amount of tests in the same kind of environment with the current code base, I think we'll end up with the same type of errors that we are seeing today.
Mhm.
So to what you want to fix all those, I'm all for it.
No, Ken, well, hold on. I don't think that's the case, because we do run all the tests that you guys are running on the gRPC stuff nightly, and we don't see that. We don't see those issues.
Yeah, but the way we run those tests nightly, it's we clear the entire environment and we run the test, right?
Yes.
So we are starting all the time from scratch. So
Yes.
in some of the cases that we're doing, we are not clearing up the environment.
Well, then why are we doing it like that? I totally agree that is a valid scenario. I totally agree that is a valid scenario, but that's not what we test. I mean, I'm okay if we say we need to do that, but again, we don't want. I don't want to do everything in the same exact minute. If by tearing down everything and rebuilding everything, we pass the tests, then we should say the current test suite passes, and what we test upstream in Jenkins pass. And at the second step, we focus on getting a second, third iteration on the test passing. But you see, otherwise we focus on things that we're not even testing on upstream, unless somebody else has an opinion on this. And maybe I'm mistaken. But I prefer
I can
things in steps.
understand the issue of, hey, yeah, I can, if we want to say, look, we want to restart the environment between each test, and if we do so, we pass the tests, essentially we're at the same state as previously, before the gRPC changed, and then merge. Okay, I can kind of support that. I mean, it's not my preferred way, but I can kind of support that. Essentially, we're passing the same test before gRPC as we're after gRPC. Okay, great. But I think even if we did that, the right solution then isn't to start merging new features, because what we've uncovered is some significant things that need to be addressed first, in my opinion, before we start merging new changes.
Well, yes, but for example, Girish's change for the serialization of the flows. First of all, are we using that in the tests already, Girish? In the gRPC tests?
No, it isn't, because it's not merged, right?
Okay.
What's getting tested is just bug fixes on the gRPC code. I mean, no new features are being pulled into that test.
Wouldn't you consider that somewhat of a bug fix? Because I thought, at least maybe it was my understanding, it was bad, that in that patch you actually went and fixed a few bugs that were existing in the Open New Go code.
Well, yes, I mean, the gRPC change brought in some, synchronization problems due to gRPC being faster, and that uncovered some bugs. So we fixed those bugs.
No.
But serialization,
Yeah,
serialization seemed to be addressing a whole new problem. I mean, so I don't think we need to bring that in.
Okay, so maybe it was, so maybe my understanding that you fixed issues in the serialization patch was not the correct one. Okay. So let's do it like this. Let's time bound this. Let's give us 1 more week. If by 1 more week, meaning next Tuesday, we don't reach a state where even with non-resetting the environment and things like that, we don't get the test passed, we then start merging the gRPC stuff, seeing results on the full other tests that we have, because we have multiple other tests. And we run the tests in many environments, so we might have more data points. Because this has to go into master. So I would say 1 more week. Would that be fine for everybody?
Andrea, after this one week, why don't we continue our gRPC work on another branch and merge the others? Actually, I don't feel comfortable to take in this change before everything is clear. It's so risky because we have a lot of problems with gRPC chains, and we have fixed some of them, but we still have a lot of. So this means that probably there are some other issues that we didn't see yet. So I actually personally don't feel comfortable to take all these things in before everything is cleared. All tests past time.
Okay. So your suggestion would be if things are not fixed by next week, we will start including other elements that need to be included for the release target, and the gRPC changes have to be rebased.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I understand that. I am really strongly against that. I believe that the gRPC change has exposed, surfaced latent issues in the code base, and addressing those latent issues needs to be a top priority. And the more code we merge on top of that, it's resetting to some extent all the debugging so far for those latent issues. So I think if we were to merge new changes and rebase the gRPC code, it actually significantly sets back the gRPC merge and the work that's been done already.
And just to clarify one point, Mahir, when we are talking about the issues that we are discovering in the gRPC, literally all the issues that we are discovering is not in the gRPC communications or the changes that has been done with the gRPC itself. The issues that we are seeing is in the existing code base, and gRPC is just uncovering them. So if you use the existing code base, the existing master, and you add more features to it, those issues are still there.
Yeah, but I mean, we're changing the way of, things that we do. You know, I mean, we were doing some asynchronous things, and now we're doing them in a synchronous way. It's expected that we will have some problems, actually. So this probably affects a lot of places, and we saw some of them, and we didn't see some of them yet. So I don't say that the gRPC code itself has problem. I don't think so. We have problems because we changed our implementation type. Our messaging type between the models. This actually should do some change, and it's expected, I think. So, and the new features that will be merged, probably, I think most of them will not affect, gRPC issues, because this, messaging between the modules, the owner discoveries, activation, etc. Giving service flows, etc. All these flows and all this messaging between the components probably will not change in this waiting patch, you know. So they will not affect the gRPC issues too much. I understand that there's a code base that's changing is, I mean, when you have problems is difficult to handle, but they probably will not affect these gRPC problems we have currently. Right? So my opinion is we can solve all these problems in a branch for gRPC. And on the other hand, we can merge the new features. And at the end of the day, when we finish the problems with gRPC, we can rebase the new change to gRPC branch and run the tests again. I hope we will, I mean, in this case, will not face with new issues, new problems. Perhaps a few small things. This is, of course, a hope. But I mean, taking all these things in and changing, making it this kind of big change without all tests successfully run, I think it's problematic, more problematic.
Yeah, I agree. The test needs to run. At least the existing test needs to pass. That's for sure. But I don't think just merging that will make things easy. But what we could do, maybe Andrea, we can take what you suggested there. I think give us a week. Let's run the test the way they'll run today. And let's see where we are next Tuesday, and then make a decision next Tuesday. How about that?
Yeah, that will work for me. And as I said, I completely, don't get me wrong, I completely stand by the fact that we need to get multiple runs of the tests passing. Completely agreed on that. You also have to think about that. I'm not sure the tests were written in such a way. Maybe Hardik knows better than I do, but I'm not sure we precisely do cleanup after the whole suite. So that's something that might be considered in general. So I think, as I said, let's give us a week. I will hold off on anything for the next week, effectively. I know already there are some things that need to come in, but I'll make sure we hold off, no merges for the next week. So you guys have a fixed target. And then let's see next Tuesday what we do. But in the meantime, given that I expect small changes to happen in the components for these timing issues, is it worth starting the code review like today? Do you guys think that would be okay?
Oh yeah, the code review can be started at any time.
Okay,
good. If there's anything that needs to be changed, it's actually good. It's because at times just another person taking a look at some part of the code, maybe they will identify issues that we are not seeing at this time.
Okay.
And again, I would love to for other people in the community, particularly people with knowledge of specific bits of code that we see some of the tests failing, if they can take some time and look at it, because we may have missed some things, right?
Okay.
And having that set of eyes that is more familiar with a given bit of code, particularly when we're dealing with sequencing of issues in some scenarios, or even the test development, is going to be very helpful.
Yeah, I was going to request the same. There are too many issues just to focus on. I mean, there are tons and tons of log to look at. If it's possible, use some resources from the OpenONU code team to have a look at these issues. Just divide and conquer.
Yes, for sure. We can definitely discuss that with the admin team. Michael is back from vacation, so we kind of effectively move both Holger and Michael to help you guys. How can I put it? The issue is that the more the team that looks at this stuff grows, the more precise we have to be with the code base. So as the issue that I was mentioning before, the which images, which patches, which version we are, that cannot really happen if we extend to a lot more people. So we kind of need
Well, everything, yeah.
a fixed target.
I think all the patches that revolve around this change should have the topic set to gRPC so that it's very clear if you're looking changing on this or merging changes, you merge into one of those existing patch sets as opposed to create a new patch set.
Not all of people have that capability, David, and I don't want to give it out to everybody. So only you can, myself, David, Theo, and Girish have the capability.
Was not aware.
Because otherwise you could, if it's given out to everybody,
People can't submit new updates to existing patch sets.
No, people cannot.
Not by default.
No, and the reason is that
Andrea, we can give temporary that permission to certain repos if needed.
Maybe certain people, not repos, but I'd like to take it back.
Well, not to certain people on certain repos.
Yes.
For example, I think it would make sense that Michael and Holger can update patches on the when you go, because they basically wrote 99.8% of it.
Okay, I can take an action on that. Okay, so I think that this we settled on this topic. So let's give us a week. Let's put more hands on the problem, and let's try to get it done this week. And I'm sorry if I was a little rough, but we are in a situation that I don't like as an end goal for the release, because we're blocked on very many things, as I said before, but I don't want to go back to that discussion. So let's give us a week and let's make it happen. Okay. Girish, this topic here is what we discussed before. So the patch is there. It's just we're gonna merge it after the gRPC if everything goes right. That would be okay, right? Girish?
Yeah, I think this one was merged. I'm a bit confused on what this patch was. Can you just...
Really? There's another one that's serialization.
No, this is not serialization. This is something else. This is one from Matthew. Okay.
Theo, do we wait for this one as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
That is unrelated to the gRPC effort. Is something that I was looking at for scale. Honestly, I haven't looked at that in like 10 days.
That's okay. Totally fine. Okay. Theo, do you want to give us an update on the OLT app? New OLT app?
Yeah, we uploaded the first patch on review for Garrett. We got the first couple of reviews on it. We are addressing comments. One piece that is still missing before we can merge is to publish internal events so that the Kafka ONOS application can register to those events and publish them over to Kafka. But apart of that, we should be pretty good shape. There are a couple issues that are observed in the test. One regards the OpenONU adapter reconcile. We are discussing that with the OpenONU team. But basically, the previous version of the app was not removing the data plane flows when a device is disabled. And we believe that that was a wrong behavior. So the new app is actually doing that, and that is actually breaking the reconciling. So we're looking into fixing that. But at this moment, this is kind of on the back burner for me, because getting the gRPC stuff merged as priority over this, because this is not blocking anyone, and we'll have to wait on the gRPC stabilization anyway. So that's it.
Okay. One thing, Theo, that I wanted to ask, there was some discussion today with Yasin from Netsia, because one of the things that they plan to do in the upcoming release was to have the PPPoE capability not being as a general umbrella, but have it configurable per subscriber, per service. So they have some changes coming in. What's the status of the PPPoE in this app, in this new app? I think we have it ready as it was in the old app, right?
Yeah, I'll go back and double check, but
Yeah.
I should have ported everything. I'll double check to be sure, but I ported all the flows we are creating. So I'll just make sure of that. If not, I'll update the app. On the other end, I would have no clue on how to test PPOE on our side.
No, we don't have the testing capability. I can ping the guys that wrote part of this to ask them to test.
Sounds good.
I will do that. Okay. The TST state of the ONUs was reported by DT, by Mike. I know Hardik is working on a test. Hardik, is there anything you need to bring up?
Nothing at the moment. Just started on this.
Okay. Next one is kind of the two new features that we're aiming at for 2.9. I'll let Amit and Mahir talk about these. Amit, any update on the MPLS stuff?
Andrea, no new updates on that. I think what we discussed last time. Yeah, nothing's changed after that. Status quo.
Okay. Thanks. On the VoIP support, Mahir, we merged a little patch on the OpenONU Go with just updates to the port types that was submitted by Odzge.
Yes.
It just adds a port type. What's the status of everything else for that?
Yes, I mean, as you said, the first patch is there, which is discovering the port, new port port. And the next patch will be changing the type and naming of the port during advertising. And again, are currently working on creating MEs in OpenONU adapter. And this will be another patch. And finally, we will, I mean, we will write the coding to the final state machines to use these MEs to configure the hotspots. So we're on it, working on Özge and Zafer in our side, working on the issue.
Okay.
And we will, we need to, discuss something in tomorrow's meeting. On OIN adapter Go meeting.
Mhm.
We were waiting Michael to return back. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, we were waiting for Michael, and I think Michael is back, so we can talk a few issues there with Michael.
Yes. So there was a discussion that we wanted to have on the type that we were assigning. So I did some digging on what the ONU adapter does. So the way it's used, it's reported existing ports. It reports them as fiber, and it ORs the fiber value, and then 1 GB full duplex value. So if you look at the code right now, it just does this. So these two values are in an OR, and it's put into the capacity value. So to me, I'm not sure we actually want the fiber in there. Meaning, because fiber medium to me is the NNI port of the ONU, not the UNI port of the ONU. So to me, the UNI port of the ONU, it should be reported just 1 gigabit full duplex or 10 gigabit full duplex for the 10 gig ONUs. I don't know why this was done. This is not probably OpenONU Go code. This was probably done in the Python version sometime back. But what are you guys' thoughts in actually changing that?
I think we can change it. There's no one residing on this issue. I mean, no one checked the type of the if it's fever or not, and do some kind of different logics in his or her code. I think it can be done if this is the correct way to do it. Why not?
That is my question. What do you guys think is the correct way? Is it what it is done right now? Or do you guys think that it's better that we actually report just 1 gigabit or 10 gigabit full duplex for the UNI ports?
I think that should be automatically detected.
Sure.
Must be
yes.
On the OMCI. We need to find.
Me too. I don't know if OMCI has this kind of attributes in it. So
Sorry?
First, I'm not also sure if the OMCI has this kind of attributes in it. I mean, this kind of information. If we can read the type of the port from the ONU itself, if we have this capability, we can use it.
Yeah.
But we have to check the OMCI and specs.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but in general, what OMCI will report is most likely the full duplex 1 gigabit, not fiber.
Yeah, I expect it also.
Okay. Let's bring this up tomorrow at the OpenONU Go call. Maybe Michael, Holger, or somebody else have ideas on whether we can get this from OMCI. Chip, maybe, you know?
Yeah, I'm actually looking through the spec right now, and I think from the PPTP Ethernet Uni, it just returns speed and duplex capabilities, and also in the circuit pack. So I'm checking to see if there's any mention of copper, but I bet you there's not. Yeah, there's no mention of whether it's a copper or fiber interface from the OMCI perspective.
Okay, so I think we can maybe use the detected mechanism, the detected value out of OMCI to actually populate this. Let's make sure tomorrow the call, the open a new go call, that we can actually do that, but I don't think it's going to be a major issue. And then we can use copper for the plain old telephone service. But copper, it's actually all ports, so I'm not exactly sure. Do you know what?
Does it actually matter to the higher layers? I mean, if not, then just probably park this. Create a low priority bug or something. Just leave it on.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. I don't think it's used at upper layers. So again, yes, this is a low priority to me. But given that we're touching the code, I would like to have consensus on making it right, not having to touch it again. But out of these features, I don't see any other possible types. Or you use other, which could be okay, or you just use copper.
Probably, I mean, in OpenFlow, it's not taught, I mean, to have a port like that. So
no,
we cannot find an exact value.
No.
So we thought when I proposed this copper, I thought that as you said, it may be other coppers that we can use because there's no exact value for that.
Yeah, let's do copper for now. If you have to do it in your implementation, Mahir, I think you can use copper, no problem.
Okay.
Just one question out of curiosity. So this is the power of 2 always here. So the features are a combination of features. So if it's 1 gigabit or 10 megabit, it can also be copper at the same time, right? So that is from design point of view here, the feature design, isn't it? So that you have a combination of features always. Can have. So therefore, yes. So therefore, this codes the copper or fiber medium as well as the capability on top of this one, which would be something like 1 terabyte or whatever. So from this point of view, best would be to have another POTS enum value, which is saying it's copper and then it's POTS on top of it. But that is not possible, right?
No, because this is what we report up north. Yeah.
Yeah, it's yeah. Because it sounds not right to say it's copper, yeah, because the other one is also copper, perhaps, or whatever. Yeah.
Maybe you can or copper another.
Yes, yes. Yeah.
Mahir, what do you think?
Maybe, I mean, if you think that the Ethernet UNI is copper and 1 gigabit or 10 gigabit something, we can use other for pods.
Yeah.
But I don't know if we will have new orders in the future, but probably not.
Yeah. Let's burn that bridge when we get to it. I think copper cop order other is even more exemplificative. Thanks, Niels, for bringing that up.
Yes.
Okay. So I think that was the last topic on the agenda for today. Does anybody have any other thoughts or comments? No? Okay, then thanks everybody. Let's try to get the gRPC changes done. We'll do our best, and I'll ping Michael and Torsten to get them to.
Yeah, I give them a pre-warning, but you can please ping them as well. So
okay,
to have
thanks.
this is, yeah. So they are already informed.
Thanks a lot.
Yep.
Thanks a lot. That's appreciated. I'll ping them to kind of have an eye on the code over at the tests, and also run them locally with the help of Torsten. And we can get to the bottom of this hopefully in the next few days. Okay, thanks everybody.
By the way, guys, if there's something that I can do or I can help with this gRPC issue or to chime in, please let me know. Okay. I mean, I don't know how to chime in now. Currently, where are you talking and what are you doing? I don't know much of it. But if there's anything that I can do, please let me know. Okay.
So for those who don't know, there is actually a channel called Kafka to gRPC, vOLTHA Kafka to gRPC. Let me get the link to that channel, and I will put it in the. I will put it into the.
I just posted the link here in the chat.
Yeah.
Thanks, Theo.
Sorry that I couldn't, I mean, chime in before that because I had some other really busy schedule. So I want to help now if I can. I'll be happy.
Appreciate that.
Thanks,
in general, what I'd love to see is people take the patch sets that are of the topic gRPC right now, which I think is all the patch sets related to this, and build those images and run those images against your normal tests that you run for particular areas of the code you focus. And where those tests don't consistently pass, use that channel to find out if someone else is working in that specific area, and or just go through some of those logs and see what you can find out, and if you can find out what the issue is. That, my opinion, would be a huge help for anybody.
Okay.
Yeah, and also any code review is much appreciated.
Yeah, of
Yes.
course.
Okay. Thanks, everybody. I'll talk to you again on Slack, and next week I'll publish the recording. Thanks. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.